Hello everyone حبايب قلبي grade 3
Lesson 2.
let's continue connect first term قلنا 154 واقفين هنا يا شباب. هناخد النهارده animals and their habitats. animals and their habitats الحيوانات والأماكن اللي بتعيش فيها. كلمة habitat يعني الموطن أو المكان اللي بيعيش فيه الحيوان اسمه إيه؟ habitat. زي إيه بقى هابيتات؟ زي grassland. عندنا natural habitats. natural habitats بيئات طبيعية زي إيه؟ grasslands. يلا ننطقها grasslands. C. Bamboo forest.
Bamboo forest.
Lake. يلا كمان مرة. grasslands. D. Bamboo forest.
Lake.
هناخد بقى نعرف كل حيوان بيعيش فين. The hippo lives in a lake. The giraffe lives in grasslands. The lion lives in grasslands. The elephant. لما نيجي عند الفيل مش هنقول ذا، هنقول the elephant. The elephant lives in grasslands. The elephant lives in grasslands. جميل. هنقول بقى the penguin lives next to the sea. The penguin lives next to the sea. بيعيش بجوار البحر. The panda lives in a bamboo forest. تعالوا بقى يا شباب علشان احنا هنتعلم حاجة مهمة جدا. نسأل أين يعيش حيوان كذا. بص بقى أول سؤال هناخده هنقول أين يعيش فرس النهر. بص دي بنقولها ازاي. Where does the hippo live? نجاوب بقى نقول ايه؟ It lives in a lake. دي لما نقول هيبو واحد بس. لكن لما نيجي نسأل عن الجمع بقى بص نقول ايه؟ ما نقولش where does، نقول where do the hippos live.
Where do the hippos live?
هنا مش هنجاوب بإت، هنجاوب بذي علشان هم جمع، وهنقول they live مش they lives. هنقول they live in a lake. يبقى نسأل بقى نقول ايه؟ where does the hippo live? It lives in a lake. Where do the hippos live? They live in a lake. طب يلا نسأل أين يعيش الفيل. Where does the elephant live? بس قول زي بقى قول the elephant. Where does the elephant live?
Where does the elephant live?
نجاوب نقول ايه؟ It lives in grasslands.
grassland.
lives in grasslands. طب لما نيجي نسأل أين يعيش الأفيال، الجمع بقى ما نقولش where does، نقول إيه؟
Where
Where
do
do
the
the
elephants
elephants
live?
live?
Where do elephants
Where do the elephants live?
Where do the elephants live?
Where do the elephants live?
Where do elephants live?
They live in grasslands.
They live in grasslands.
They live in grasslands.
They live in grasslands.
يلا بينا نسأل عن الأسد. Where does the lion live?
Where does the lion live?
أين يعيش الأسد؟ Where does the lion live?
Where does the lion live?
نجاوب بقى نقول إيه؟ It lives in grasslands.
Lives in
It lives in grasslands. طب هنسأل أين تعيش الأسود؟ يبقى where do the lions live?
Where do the lion live?
Where do the lions live?
Where do the lions live?
They live in grasslands.
They live in
They live in grasslands.
They live in grasslands.
يلا نسأل عن الزرافة. أين تعيش؟ Where does the giraffe live?
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 It lives in grasslands.
Lives in grasslands.
It lives in grasslands.
Lives in grasslands.
طب نسأل عن الزرافات الجمع بقى. Where do the giraffes live?
Where the giraffes live?
Where do the giraffes live?
Where do the giraffes live?
They live in grassland.
They
live in grasslands.
They live in grasslands.
جميل. يلا نسأل عن مين penguin. Where does the penguin live?
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 It lives next to the sea. ونقولها next to، ما نقولش next to، نقول next to the sea. It lives next to the sea. طب where do the penguins live?
Where do
They live next to the sea. They live next to the sea.
They live next to the sea.
يلا آخر حد هنسأل عنه panda. Where does the panda live?
Where does the panda live?
It lives in a bamboo forest.
It's in a bamboo.
It lives in a bamboo forest.
It lives in a bamboo forest.
جميل. يلا بينا نقول عن الجمع. Where do the pandas live?
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 They live in a bamboo forest.
They live in a bamboo forest.
طيب بصوا يا شباب بقى، عشان انتوا هنعمل حاجة مع بعض كده، اتنين مع بعض هيعملوها. اجرب انا واسيل فياض الاول كده. اسأليني يا اسيل، اين يعيش هيبو؟
Where does the hippo live?
It lives in the lake. اسأليني عن الجمع بقى. Where do the hippos?
Where do the hippos lives?
They. لا تقولي where do the hippos live.
Live.
They live in the lake. طب اسأليني أين تعيش الزرافة.
Where does the giraffe live?
It lives in grasslands. طب الزرافات الجمع.
Where do the giraffe live?
They live in grasslands. برافو. الأسد.
Where does the lion live?
It lives in grasslands. الأسود.
Where do the lions live?
They live in grasslands. Elephant.
Where does the elephant live?
It lives in grasslands. Elephants.
Where do the elephants live?
جميلة بتقول the elephants حلوة قوي. Where do the elephants live? They live in grasslands. يلا اسأليني عن penguin.
Where does the penguin live?
It lives next to the sea. Penguins بقى.
Where do the penguins live?
They live next to the sea. Panda.
Where does the panda live?
It lives in a bamboo forest.
Where do the pandas live?
They live in a bamboo forest. برافو عليكي. يلا بينا نعمل كده. هاخد علي زقزوق وحبيبة. علي هيسألها أين يعيش هيبو؟
Where does the hippo live? It lives in a lake.
اسألها عن الجمع بقى. تقول لها إيه؟ Where do the hippos?
Where do the hippos live? They live in a lake.
They live in a lake. برافو. اسألها عن الزرافة.
Where does the giraffe live? It lives in grasslands.
جميل. اسألها عن جيرافس يا علي.
Where do the giraffes live? Grasslands.
They live in grasslands. Okay. اسألها عن line.
Where do the lions live? They live in a grassland.
مفيش لا. They live in grasslands. طيب بصوا يا شباب. امسك النوت بوك بتاعتك كده واكتبوا معايا الأسئلة دي علشان لما يجوا الناس تسأل بعضها يبقى كلنا كاتبين وعارفين. نمبر 1 هنسأل عن hippo في المفرد وفي الجمع. يبقى هنقول where does the hippo live. يلا كلنا نكتبهم. Where does the hippo live. ونجاوب it lives in a lake. اتفضل. it lives in a lake. في الجمع بقى نقول where do the hippos live. Where do the hippos live. نجاوب بقى they live in a lake. They live in a lake.
Mister, I'm going in the bathroom, okay?
اوكي. انتوا معايا بقى. قولوا لي المرة دي. قول لي بقى المرة دي. نمبر 2 هنسأل أين يعيش الأسد. Where does the lion live. Where does the lion live. It lives in grasslands. It lives in grasslands. هنسأل عن الجمع بقى يا شباب. هنقول where do the lions live. Where do the lions live. ونجاوب نقول ايه يا شباب. They live in grasslands. They live in grasslands. بعد كده ناخد جراف. هنسأل نقول ايه عن جراف يا شباب. انتوا قولوا لي بقى.
Where does the giraffe live?
Where does the giraffe live. Where does the giraffe live.
Where does the giraffe live?
Where does the giraffe live.
Where? It lives in
It lives in grasslands. It lives in grasslands.
It lives in grasslands.
It lives in grasslands.
It lives in grasslands.
لما نيجي نسأل عن الجمع بقى.
Where do the giraffes live?
Where do the giraffes live? Where do the giraffes live?
Where do the giraffes live?
They live in grasslands.
Grassland.
They live in grasslands.
They live in grassland.
ناخد elephant بقى. Where does the elephant live? لازم نقول the elephant. Where does the elephant live?
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 It lives in grasslands.
Lives in grassland.
It lives in grasslands.
It lives in grasslands.
في الجمع بقى نقول ايه؟
Where do the elephants live?
نقول بس the elephants. Where do the elephants live?
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 The elephants. They live in grasslands.
They live in grasslands.
They live in grasslands.
They live in grasslands.
جميل. يلا بينا عشان نسأل عن penguin. Where does the penguin live? Where does the penguin live?
Where does the penguin live?
نقول بقى it lives next to the sea.
Lives next to the sea.
It lives next to the sea.
Lives next to the sea.
It lives next to the sea.
It lives next to the sea.
في الجمع بقى نقول where do the penguins live?
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 They live next to the sea.
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 برافو. Where does the panda live?
It lives in a lake.
Where does the panda live?
It lives where does the panda live?
It lives in a bamboo forest.
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 Where do the pandas live?
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 They live in a bamboo forest.
They live in a bamboo forest.
They live in a bamboo forest. حمزة وآسر. يلا يا حمزة اسأل آسر أين يعيش هيبو؟
Where does the hippo live? Live in a lake.
Lake. It lives in a lake.
Lake.
الجمع بقى حمزة تقول له إيه؟
Where do the hippos live? Live.
They live in
a lake.
They live in a lake. اسألوا بقى أين تعيش الزرافة؟
Where does the giraffe live? live in grasslands.
Yes. الزرافات بقى.
Where do the giraffes live? They live in a
They live in grasslands. مفيش هنا. They live in grasslands. يا آسر انت هتسأل يا آسر بقى، هتقول له أين يعيش بنجوين. افتح المايك يا آسر.
Where does the penguin live?
يا إيلين كملي يا حبيبتي، يلا قولي it lives next to the sea.
It lives next to the sea.
اسألها يا آسر عن الجمع بقى.
Where do the penguins live? They live
They live next to the sea.
sea.
طيب هناخد حد غيرهم. يلا يا مالك وأحمد علاء. مالك هيسأل عن هيبو مفرد.
Where does the hippo live? It lives is a lake.
It lives in a lake.
Lives in a lake.
اسأل عن الجمع حبيبي يلا.
Where do the hippos live? They live in
They live in a lake.
a they live in a lake.
يلا حبيبي اسألوا عن لاين يا مالك.
Where does the lion live? It lives in grasslands.
جمع يا مالك.
Where do the lions live?
Where do the lions live?
They live in grasslands.
يا مالك أحمد علاء هيسألك أين تعيش الزرافة. اسأل يا أحمد.
Where does the
جيراف يا أحمد مش جيراف. Where does the giraffe live?
Where does the giraffe live? It lives in the grassland.
ما في. اسألوا يا أحمد عن جيراف.
Where do the giraffe live?
Where does the giraffe live?
It lives in the grassland.
اسألوا عن الجمع يا أحمد.
Where do the giraffe live?
Where do the giraffes live?
They live in the grassland.
اسألوا يا مالك انت بقى عن الفيل.
Where does the elephant live?
يا مالك قول the elephant.
Where does the elephant live? It lives in grasslands.
جميل.
Where does the elephant live? They live in grassland.
اسأل يلا عن penguin.
Where does your penguin live? It lives next to the sea. Where do the penguin live? Penguins live. They live next to the sea.
نعكس بقى. انت اسأل الأول where does.
Where does the panda live? It lives in the bamboo.
It lives in a bamboo forest.
Where the bamboo forest? Where do the pandas live? They
live in a bamboo forest.
Forest.
يلا ناخد اتنين كمان. ثانك يو أحمد. ثانك يو مالك. هناخد ساندي. يلا بتول.
Where does the hippo live? It lives in a lake.
It lives in a lake.
Where do the hippos live? They live in a lake.
اوكي يلا بتول.
Where does the lion live? It lives in grassland.
It lives in grasslands.
Where do the lions live? They live in grassland.
اسألي انت يا ريناد.
Where does the giraffe
live.
live? It lives in a grassland. Where do the
giraffes
live?
where do the giraffes live?
Where do the giraffes live?
They live in grasslands.
They live in grasslands.
اوكي يلا بينا. اسألي يا ريناد.
Where does the elephant live? Lives in grasslands. Where do the elephants live?
elephants مش elephants. elephants.
They live in grassland.
اسألي يا ريناد.
Where does the penguin live? It lives next to the sea. Where do the penguins live?
live.
They live next to the sea.
برافو. اسألي انت يا بتول.
Where does the panda live? It lives in a bamboo forest.
bamboo forest.
Where do the pandas live? They live in a bamboo forest.
Okay, thank you so much. أسيل علاء وعلي. أسيل وعلي.
نعم.
يلا أسيل اسألي.
Where does hippo live? It lives in.
Where does the hippo live?
It lives in a lake.
lives in a lake.
Where do the hippo live?
They live in a lake.
They live.
اسأل يا علي انت بقى.
There does.
اسأل يا علي. قول where does the lion live?
Where does the lamb
The lion live.
live? It lives in a grassland.
مفيش آية أسيل. It lives in grasslands.
It lives in grasslands. Where
do the lions live?
Where do the lions live? They live in grassland.
اسأل يا علي يلا.
Where does the giraffe live? It lives in grasslands. Where do the
giraffes. Where do the giraffes live? يلا حبيبي. They live in grasslands.
They live in grasslands.
Thank you so much. برافو علي. برافو أسيل. ساندي.
Yes, Mr.
يلا انت ومعاذ. اسأل يا معاذ. قول لها where does the hippo live?
Where does the hippo live? It lives in a lake.
It lives in a lake.
Where does the hippo live? Hippos live. They live in a lake.
They live in a lake. Yes. يلا كمل.
Where does the lion live?
برافو.
Lives in grassland. Where does the lion
Where do the lions live?
Where does the lion live? They live in grassland.
They live in grasslands. كمل يا معاذ يلا.
Where does the giraffe live? It lives in grassland. Where does the giraffes live? They live in grassland.
اسأليه انت بقى.
Where does the elephant live?
قولي the elephant. Where does the elephant live?
It lives.
It lives in grasslands.
It lives in grasslands. Where do the elephants live?
أيوة جميلة. Where do the elephants live?
They live in grasslands.
They live in grasslands. اسألها يلا. Where does
Where does the penguin
live?
live? It lives next to the sea.
Next to the sea. برافو.
Where do the penguins live? They live next to the sea.
برافو عليكم، حلوين جدا. Thank you so much. حمزة وعلي معايا.
Where does the hippo live? It lives in a lake. Where do the hippos live? They live in a lake. Where does the lion live? Lives in grassland. Where does the giraffe live? They live in a grassland. Where does the elephant live?
قول the elephant.
Where do the elephants in a grassland?
Does the elephant live?
Where does the elephant? It lives in a grassland. Where do the elephants live?
جميل.
Where
They live in
they live in a
grasslands.
grassland.
والله ما في ايه. They live in grasslands.
Where does the penguins live? The penguin lives next to the sea. Where do the penguins live? They live next to the sea.
برافو. Thank you so much. هنجيب يا شباب الصفحة دي وآسر هيجاوب لي على السؤال ده. Number 1. هنا آسر what ولا where ولا when does the penguin live?
Where?
برافو. Where does the penguin live? أسيل فياض.
Where does the hippo live?
برافو. Where does the hippo live? إلين. Where does a panda live?
It lives in a bamboo.
It lives in a bamboo forest. It lives in a bamboo forest. أسيل علاء. Where does an elephant live?
It lives in a grassland.
It lives in grasslands. It lives in grasslands. معاذ. A giraffe has a long. عندها رقبة طويلة. A long neck. مالك.
A hippo lives in a lake.
Hippo lives in a lake. برافو يا لوك. حمزة. The elephants. عندنا 3. elephant ولاين وجراف. ال3 دول بيعيشوا في grasslands. رناد. number 2. The penguins live next to the sea. برافو. Where does the lion? Sandy.
Where does the lion
live?
in grass?
يلا بينا يا بتول. number 4 يا بتول. The panda's habitat.
Habitat is bamboo forest.
برافو عليكي. bamboo forest. حبيبة. It lives in the sea. It بتحب الاس لازم نقول lives. احمد علاء. The lion ولا the panda ولا the elephant is big and gray.
Elephant.
The elephant is big and gray. كبير ولونه gray رمادي. جميل. أسيل علاء رتبي لي الجملة دي.
Where does the elephant live?
فين elephant دي؟ Where does the lion live؟ أسيل فياض.
The hippo lives in a lake.
The hippo lives in the lake. The hippo lives in the lake. Eileen. The elephant lives in. Eileen.
The elephant lives in bamboo forest.
طب مين اللي صغير و lives next to the sea وبيعيش جنب البحر؟ قولي علي زقزوق.
Penguin.
The penguin. هتاخدوا يا شباب الدرس ده هوم ورك في البوكلت في المذكرة، نحله وتبعتوا لي على الواتساب جروب بتاعنا.